Hey guys, so I wanted to show you a demo of a new plugin that I'm working on. It's not exactly new. I mean, I have made this in Max for Live as well. And the most common issue that at least I faced was I could not use it in Bitwig. So there was no other option but to kind of go the VST route. So this is a VST plugin now. It's very nascent, very new, in the very early stages, and hence it doesn't have the kind of UI you would expect from a typical VST plugin that does this. But I feel it already does a bunch of things which are very interesting, and I wanted to showcase them. Before I go there, I want to show you what I have over here. I've just got a typical kick bass kind of a thing going. Okay, and I'm using pigments for the bass, and I'm using a patch. I think this is by Dash. So yeah, I'm using that, and I'm using kick 3 for the kick. I sampled this kick using kick 3 using one of the kick drums from Nobot, an artist that I like lately. So yeah, that's a little bit of Dash and a little bit of Nobot right there. Okay, so, and I have this channel where I have my own little self-created patch using my, the an equation for creating this FM sound. I've put together a video for this as well, and you can take a look at it later. But basically I have this sound over here. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate manually first what the plugin does so that you can get a good idea about what it is all about and what the controls in this plugin over here do. So let's say I create a clip over here, and the most one of the most obvious things I can do is I can, since I'm in the key of G, I can just put together some notes like this randomly. I'm not even thinking where I'm putting the notes. And this is a very common technique, right? Many of us do this. Either we do it like this, or we might have some arpeggiator that we scan through and use some randomizer so that some notes are played, sometimes they're not played. Like for example, you have chances over here, you could play with chances, record a bunch of things, and then too you could create this kind of a riff that I'm creating, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need the plugin that I'm making. But this is just yet another way. My plugin is just yet another way of doing the same thing. So let's say we have got this part and it goes like this. Okay, so let's say I want to repeat this 4 times in a way where the first 3 times is exactly just the way it is, like this. And in the 4th time, I'll make some minor adjustments. Like let's say I move this over here, make this over here, make this longer, take this here, make it shorter, put this over here, and maybe get rid of this, make this longer, something like this. And now if I play this, the way I have it now is the first part that we created, this one, let's call it A. So it's repeated A, and then for this part we made some change, so let's call it B. So in a manner of speaking, you have a combination that goes like A, B. Okay, and if I play it, okay, this is all fine. And then maybe I can create some sort of a variation. Let's say I go 1 octave higher, and then I also try to move around these notes a little bit. So for my A part, which was this, I'm going to try and stick to G minor maybe, and something like this. And then obviously I'm going to repeat it because this is my arrangement, A, B. So I'm going to stick to that for the time being, and this is how it looks. And on the B part, I'm going to change it further. So maybe something like, so now it sounds like this. So you can make various arrangements. So this was like A, B. You could introduce a C, you could introduce a D, and then make various combinations of A, B, C, D to make your parts. So this is fine and it works. You can continue playing around like this, but the plugin that I made kind of takes care of that bit. Not this over here. So it does that random thing that you're doing. The plugin does it for you. So I'm going to get rid of this clip that I originally had, and I'm going to demonstrate this plugin. So let's start with the note. I'm going to use G because that's my baseline. And for now, I don't need to worry about the scale because I'm just going to go for, the static root note kind of a thing that we did first. So let's stick to that. It's called only X right now. I'll have some descriptive names for it. And maybe we can go for 8 notes. And I'm going to hit, like I said, the scale doesn't matter at the moment. But I'm going for this pattern, A. Let's start with A maybe, just A pattern. And then I hit generate. So as of writing of this VST plugin as of today, I don't know how to create some UI that lets me drag from here to here. So I'm obliged to then use my desktop to do this, and I know that's not ideal, but I'm still learning how to write this plugin, so I don't know exactly how to do it. And the other thing is, in my Maxwell Live plugin, which does something similar, the API is a little bit more welcoming in the sense I'm using some JavaScript, so I can directly affect a selected clip and make that clip do what I want it to do. When it comes to VST, there is no way to do that, and you must have seen this in Contact or some other plugins where you can play along with the plugin, but when you want to get something inside over here inside your DAW, you need to drag it from here and move it over there. So that functionality I just need to figure out how to do, but till then I'm just putting everything in. I'm putting one MIDI file on the desktop. So yeah, I know this is very clunky and all that, but maybe the results are not so bad for me to keep going like this. So when I hit generate, it creates this file called output.mid and it's on desktop. So let me just drag it over here, and if you see this file, what it has generated, it has created this random clip. If I generate one more time, this file gets updated. I pull this back and it has created yet another random clip. Oh, because it's 8 note. Okay, let me do A. Okay, now we have a slightly longer pattern and it sounds like this. And then you can keep generating more. So I hit generate one more time. This output.mid file has got updated on the desktop. I can bring it in and it has a slightly different arrangement, if you will. I hope it's visible. And you can keep on making more. Like if I keep making more, of course it's randomly doing that. So it's not like there are some patterns stored somewhere and I'm pulling them one by one. It's randomly generating, so every time it's going to create a new pattern. And then there are some variations. For example, I can create a longer thing with more, let's say A, B, A, C. So in this one, if you see, like this is the A part, which is repeated 3 times like this, and then this is the B part, which is slightly different from the first 3 repetitions of A. That's the A, B part. Let's do A, B, A, C, and then generate, and then put this over here. What it does now is it creates this part and then repeats it over here, and then it creates this part, which is called B, which is different than A, and then it also creates a C part, which is also different. So let's just play this out. And of course I can keep generating more and more. And then what I can do is I can create some variation out of this, where now I want to bring in some scales. So since we were in the minor scale, maybe we can go for harmonic minor, and here we can select X and R. So what that means is it's going to use the root note that you specify over here, and for R it is going to sprinkle some random notes from this scale. So from the scale of G harmonic minor in this case, it is going to sprinkle some random notes. If I generate this and I put it over here, let me reduce this a little bit. This, if I drag it, bring it and try to look at it, see it looks a little different now, because now it has the G note and randomly it has used something from the harmonic minor, and it's again following that same format, A followed by let's do AAB because that's what we were discussing so far, then we can go to the other ones. So if I generate this and kind of bring this over here and double click it, you'll see that it has created a part which is repeated 3 times like this, repeated, and then there is this B part which is slightly different. So if we play that out, and needless to say, I can keep on generating obviously and then bring them in. I don't like that one so much, so I just generate one more. And then I can create longer parts. So for example, this one, let's go for, or maybe let's try this one first. It's AAAB and then AAAC. What it means is it's going to create one variation repeated 3 times, then create one more variation and not repeat it anymore than once, and then go back to that first variation and repeat it 3 times and bring in another variation. So that's the C part. So if we go for this and then we drag it as usual, if you look at the MIDI for that file, for that clip, you'll see that it has done that exactly the same thing. So it has 3 A parts, right? Because it's 8 note, it's taking the half bar and then repeat, bring in a new part that's called B, then repeat that A back like the one that was over here, put that over here, here, and then bring in a new part called C. So let's play that out. So that's what it is doing, and then you can have some variations of course, and then there is this option where you may want to play something slowly. So this is quarter notes. 4N stands for quarter note, 8N stands for 8 note, 2N stands for half note. So if I generate that, it's going to create a slightly longer clip, but it's longer notes as well, and it plays slower, half the speed of 8 notes. It's following the same pattern, so to speak. So it's doing the same thing, the AAB thingy, and it's what you would do randomly. So it's not like pre-made patterns or something. The way you would randomly move things and copy paste is doing the same thing. You know, whenever you generate, it's going to do that dance of putting together some things randomly and sticking to the scale in this case. Yeah, all the patterns are not something to die for. Some are pretty lousy, that's fine, but it does some of the grunt work that you would otherwise do. And then there is one more called only R. It stands for all random notes from this scale, so it will not kind of bring in too many root notes. It will bring all the notes from this G harmonic minor in this case. Like for example, if I go for Phrygian and I do only R and generate that, maybe I can go for a smaller pattern. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Let me stick to harmonic minor for now and slightly longer pattern. This is A B A C, A B A D, we'll stop this for now, and if we can try this, I want to showcase one small thing before I close the demo. So far we were just using this rolling bass kind of thing, you know, and that's cool, but let's try to see if we can use this for the bass. So let's go for something like AAAB, and instead of only R, let's use something called bass. Actually, it stands for rolling bass, and I know I need to come up with better names, but and in this case I'm going to continue to use this. Maybe I'll use the and generate, and if I take this and bring it over the baseline, I'll take a new clip over here. So it has generated this baseline. Okay, generate one more time. So the idea here is, so it's rolling bases, right? I mean, this kind of stuff you can just point your mouse and make this happen, but sometimes some of these tracks, they have variation on that rolling bass pattern, and they'll use some other notes and all that. So this particular drop down is targeted for those kind of creations. It'll create some variation, but it will stick to the rolling bass format. And then you can do longer ones as well, like this. Maybe we can stick to something smaller, like this ABAC. Because maybe you don't want too much variation for the baseline. And needless to say, you can play the other thing along with it. And maybe we can generate something on a higher octave. We'll stick to harmonic minor and go for maybe only R, and then bring that up for our lead. Oh, too high. Sorry. Okay, lousy pattern. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe I can go for something slower. Yeah, so something like that, and then back to AAB. And then you can do this for drums as well, like if you use only X and then bring in some, I don't think this is going to work because I've not really worked for the drums part, but let's try it out. So I'm just using this hats plugin from Bitwig 3.5. Whatever, and I'm going to use only X, 8 notes, and the scale doesn't matter because it's only X, and then I'm going to generate. So it generates this MIDI file, and let's see how it looks. So it looks like this. I'll just reduce the volume a bit and maybe increase the decay slightly. Yeah, so this can act like a nice groove kind of hat sound along with something that's on, on the third, seventh, and the, the typical open hat. Okay, so that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will make a version of this available very soon, and it'll be free, of course. And yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below and let me know if you like this, or if you have some suggestions or ideas or whatever. Okay, cheers, bye.